What? First come, first serve on the teaching games. How about 4-4? I should have 4-4 Joseki. Oh, I forgot to show the one space pincers for the 4-4 Joseki. My bad.
You didn't show approach for 3-4.
Yeah, I did.
You didn't show
approach.
all of them.
No, I was only showing a couple for double DDKs.
I know.
I can't. Hi, have fun. No, there's no way I'm gonna know all the Josekis. All right, time to lose to an AQ.
Hey, you didn't feel a problem that I did first.
Yep. I'm streaming teaching games today. Doot. Yep, last couple weeks was playing lots and lots of rated games, but now we're on teaching games. Hello! Quick question, can we get a teaching game every day? Yes! That is fine. I would say you can get a teaching game every day, and probably you can get multiple a day if no one else wants them and I'm just waiting. Then you can play a teaching game, and that's fine. But yeah, one a day is probably good. And then if no one else takes a turn, feel free to get a second one. But yeah, I would say you can do it one a day just fine. All right, so we did high approach. This is single digit Q, so we have a little bit more options on our Josekis.
15.
He didn't approach here, so let's see what happens if I make it a little complicated. We don't want it to be too complicated, since at 8Q we're just learning how to deal with the complications. But we're going to make it a little complicated and see how he handles it. No. Anyone gets teaching games. This is because this was a Patreon reward for if I reached a certain goal. I should say Patreon goal. I want to change that. It was a goal on Patreon that if I reach a certain amount, that I would give 50 teaching games for the next month, or until I reached it, basically. For the next month or several weeks, I would give 50 teaching games. So anyone can do the teaching games. Okay, welcome to the Insane World Go. Genos dang it. Genos Eldanian Horn. Genos Eldanian Horn. Oh yeah, everyone can get one. Everyone can get one. It's perfectly fine to get a teaching game. Is E16, E16. F16's better than E16. E16 is the diagonal against a low approach, but not a high approach. Hello, Sliced Fox. Yeah. Yeah, anyone can get a teaching game. Again, unless you're a Don. If you're a Don, no teaching games. I'm sorry. Alright, so he played this move. This move is a little strange, and I'm not sure which direction I want to go. This isn't quite Joseki. It's more like a trick move. So I don't know. I'm not sure how I want to handle this. If I go Moyo, it should be fine. But if I can go here, I might take his base.
Don't worry, I'm DDK.
Let's go here because it also shares the corner. And there's no major Moyo to worry about yet. Welcome to the Insane World of Go. Codus? Thank you for the follow. Can we give me 50 teaching games? Oh my gosh, I would like curl up in a ball and cry. Just getting beat up 50 times. Alright, so...
Can we give you 50 teaching games?
Do I want to go back here yet? So I have a couple options. I can just fix with the Tiger's Mouth. I can push and then maybe do this. And all I'm risking is a peep. But probably fixing is going to be best, right? Because then I have the slide, I have the invasions, and I have potential Moyo over here later. But he will get to do this move if he does it right now. And that might be a little good for him. So maybe he did trick me. with this move. We can't say his move's bad, right? Unless we can punish it. So if we can't punish it... Oh my gosh. Just make Cornell beat me up on stream. Cornell would destroy me. Alright, so this one... 16... Tiger's Mouth is usually a little bit better because you have more liberties. Here's a prime example. If I was at M16 and I tried to push, he would be able to potentially play some Ataris. Alright, so if I push this one, so first local reading and then global reading, right? So first local reading, if I push and he blocks, there's 2 cuts. And so I can definitely do something to destroy this area. The second thing is global reading. So, do I want to destroy this area or do I want to attack the stone at all? That's a difficult choice. I think this area has become a little bit bigger than an open side. Just slightly. Because it's just getting really high really quickly. So I'm going to manage this area first. FS Joe. Yeah, so when I open the game offer, it's first come, first serve.
What if I just signed in on this computer? Signed on and did it.
It's hot.
Pretty hot.
Grief.
10 out of 10 stream watching someone.
Ooh, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the insane world of Go. Benny1822. Alright, Nobi's not bad, because I do have a lot of forcing moves here. Alright, we're going to squeeze this corner. Ooh, I'm going to continue squeezing until you tell me not to.
I think death is approaching.
Yep. He's going to live. He's going to live. Okay. This is Sente to block. Don't forget to live. Oh, thank you for the follow, Admiral Stapler. Alright, so now I need to do life and death, huh? Push, block, push, block. That shape is 6+1. If I play here, there. Ooh, maybe. Maybe. That means this moves Sente. I can also go here. But then he blocks this in Sente. I fix, he fix, but it would give me good shape in today. So I can't kill him with this. I can just push and make him have less points. But I should also try to live. So I'm gonna go this route, so that way I can get some eyes. Then I fix, you fix.
Are you freaking serious? Good thing I've already finished my ramen.
You need to stop knocking your utensils into the floor.
It's not true.
Alright. So, I'm pretty alive. Can I do this in Sente too? Oh man, I can just make my second eye completely in Sente. Because if I go here and then jump and he tries to cut, I have the Atari. So yeah, I'm just going to live in Sente. So, the punishment that I did here wasn't that I tried to kill him, but I was able to completely live and destroy his influence over here in Sente. And that's really, really damaging. Yep, we are both alive. So that's really, really damaging to this area. Alright, so now we're back. Do I have a weak group? This one's a little uncomfortable because of the Atari and the Hane. So let's just live with this one, right? That's good enough. Because there's no major area yet. Because of the open skirt and the invasions. There's no major area on here yet. It can become one, but I think weak groups first. So I'll just go here.
Yeah, 3 lines of territory is really
N14 was overplay. Yes, but Q11 was bigger overplay.
I can never tell which is overplay or not. Like,
actually, if I click shift click, control click. Oh, yeah.
don't click now!
That scared the crap out of me. So if I control click, that's how I put in coordinates. Yeah. I was trying to remember how to put in chat coordinates by clicking. Alright, so he's going to go here. This is actually not a bad idea since it's going to cut off my group and my potential. So I'm just going to play Joseki and live. Since this one I did get a 1-space jump, so I'm not going to die or anything, but he does break my combination. So that's not a bad idea.
This is interesting. I mean, I know that Joseki, if white played on
Black
top,
S12 isn't a good forcing move. S12. Black S12. Well, first off, is it a forcing move? So if he plays here, we have to check the wedges, right? So I play, he plays, I play, he plays, I play, there, Atari. Oh yeah, that's bad. So what if I don't lose liberties first? I play, he plays, I play. No, there's no choice. Yeah, so I can't just cut this. So I just fix, right? And let's see, is that exchange good for black? It's a little okay for black, but I can still clamp, and I can still invade and threaten the clamp. So it only fixes a little bit. But it, yeah, sure, that's a valid exchange. I mean, as white, though, I'm not going to waste the move to fix it because it's super small for white. But yeah, that's a valid exchange.
I should review me playing against somebody else.
Alright. So this is complicated. Or complicating. I'm better at Go than I am at English, guys. Dude.
You were right the first time, by the way.
Alright. I wish I knew more about this Joseki. This one's such a rare one that I don't study it as much as I should. So he's created a Mii, so this is definitely right for black. What can I do here? I have a couple options, right? I can just simply come out right here and then Atari, and it looks similar to the Avalanche, but if you compared to the Avalanche, this is going to be slightly good for black. But I think it's better than trying to come out over here. So I'm going to come out right here.
Black kind of gets the corner.
Yeah, this one was a little good for black. So I'm wondering if I messed up. No, I know why. Because I had, he had 2 moves to my 1 because I Tanuki'd. That's why.
I should download Twitch on my phone to see you sing on stream.
So I'm gonna try to break out. This is my combination. So okay, this isn't terrible for me because I got to Tanuki. But locally it's good for black.
One day when you're doing teaching games, I'm gonna watch you stream and get in a game with you.
Alright, so should I go ahead and make the forcing moves? Yeah. They're free. Why not? And I still get some points on top. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. Oops. Oh, the forcing moves. The forcing moves.
That is
an
ugly shave.
Atari there, Atari there, block. Yeah, so I can't kill the 2 stones, but oh boy. Can I get some forcing moves? Should I do it now? Should I do it now or should I save it? That's a judgment call. I'm gonna... I don't know what I want to do. I don't know what I want to do. Because I also want this, but this is like too many cuts. And I want to do this, but then Atari, he goes here. And then Atari, take, fix. I think it gets really thick out here. Just B15 is fine. I was expecting this. Was what I was expecting. It's probably okay though. There's a lot of Aji. I'm just not finding the best order. But I'm probably reading too much. This is a teaching game. Let's just go here. Like, this is just a teaching game. It's not that big of a deal, right? I mean, he's not going to die. So, it's not like there's a major lesson to learn here. So, it's not that big of a deal. So, let's just make that exchange. And then approach. And I'm choosing the approach because his combination is bigger than my combination. So, I'm going to just approach. D13. If a D13, he fixes, and I kind of have an open skirt. It's not bad. It's just not that much different than this. And I want Sente. This looks like a fair exchange.
Have you ever tried to beat
I think I could play this because of the wedge, which is actually quite nice.
Have you ever tried to beat yourself, like play yourself in a game?
Mm-hmm. And here the Hane doesn't work because of this Aji. Yeah, so I think normally you'd want to invade something like the top, but the reason I wasn't worried about it is because of all these forcing moves that I have against this group now. So I wasn't really worried about an invasion or anything. It was possible, but it's not that big of a deal to do right now. You just get a weak group when there's big moves. Ooh, a high approach. Major Moyo! He's gonna go Moyo. I hear Moyo warning. Alright, well, for starters, I'm going to defend my weak group. And I'm going to go high because of Moyo. D12. D12 doesn't quite force it, and it'll give him Ataris against me.
Did you come to see the Yu-Gi-Oh movie with me and Rich?
No, but I'll watch it later.
I was
wondering if I'm gonna play next game with you. Done review. Hi everyone on stream. It is first come, first serve. Did I spell serve right? I hope so.
Yeah, you did.
Okay. Not sure how to build left side. Ooh! Chance! He doesn't know how to build the Moyo. If he doesn't know how to build the Moyo, then I have a chance to destroy the Moyo.
Sean, you're
I was
not
expecting
playing seriously.
I know. I was expecting him to play a 1-space jump or a 2-space jump. Probably 1 space is safer. But I get a really big corner. He could also attach under Ihane, he Nobi's back, I Nobi, and then he goes up. And he has a monkey jump and invasions. And I still get a really big corner. 2-space jump back's also interesting. What about attach there? I come back, he goes, and then I 2-space jump, and then he 2-space jumps back. That's interesting. Yeah, I'm going to take this corner. The corner is huge. Like, this is more than 10 points. So it's I'm very happy to get it. Excuse me, get it. Alright, so he's going to go 2 space. So this is really big.
This is really big.
So I have a couple options to either reduce or invade. I feel like this is threatening an area that's bigger than any big move. So I should probably respond to it. I don't have to, but I probably should. So let's just go in. I think here's a good point. It's not so tight that he can take forcing moves against me, but it's not so far away that it doesn't pressure him. And it also lets me work with these stones pretty nicely. But then again, I can get surrounded. D10. D10 doesn't put enough pressure on his weak stones.
I was interested.
Can't
he go under and put pressure on you?
Maybe I should put pressure. Because it is a 2-space jump, so maybe more pressure would be good. Decisions. I'm going to put more pressure. Oh, what would be better for him to learn from? What would be better for him to learn from? Let's do more pressure, because you can always improve in fighting.
Tanuki G15.
G15. This, unfortunately, is just an exchange that makes him fix that.
What the heck is that? Silence.
Okay. I'm gonna Nobi and still peep the 2-space jump cuts. He really likes this bumping his own head. Usually it's not good to bump your own head. But this is the second time he did it this game.
I kinda wanna play someone on your stream.
Unsettling me is possible. That's not bad. He Hanes, I Hane, and he cuts. Atari, go down. There, connect. Connect with monkey jump. Okay, so he can't connect. Since he can't connect... Oh wait, what if he Hanes, I block, and he plays the tiger's mouth. I Atari, he connects, I connect. And then he Ataris, I Atari, he connects, and I connect. I destroy the area, but he lives pretty easily. And that's not that fun. I want to do forcing moves.
What?
He did ignore me.
C7?
Black did C7. He did ignore me over here. And this is cool. And this would let me surround him. I think surrounding's good, right? And cutting off this stone would be powerful. I don't think that person's understanding what I'm saying. I'm gonna try to cut him here. Because one thing that many players struggle with is cuts and liberties. Okay, that's 2 things. But cuts, it's one of the things people struggle with. So let's cut. I actually think he's struggling because of his bumping his own head. Ooh, that's a question. Okay, he didn't play it. I was like, ooh, that's a question. What if he cuts now and I'm in a net ladder or something? Yeah, this is fine. This is fine. He lives. I destroy his area. I'm happy with this. He's so brave. Oh my gosh. He is so brave. Your priorities. I think you have the wrong priorities. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, my heart's pounding now. I smell death. Death is in the air. Death is in the air.
I knew it.
Defense is always more important. Okay, not always, but defense is...
Most of the time.
Living is more important than not dying. You're just dead. Oops. Oops. Mistakes have been made.
D7 is really no good, I think.
Okay. I think that's done. Okay. Let's review. Let's review this game. Doot-doot-doot. Doot-doot-doot. If you're on Discord, feel free to join the teaching room. Teaching room 1 on Discord. Alright. Let's review this game. Doot-doot-doot. 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 So, I'm a little curious. Yeah, you're the type that tries to do too much. And rather than doing a lot, try to put the least amount of effort into doing something. Try to change the mindset. Instead of doing as much as you can, try to just accomplish your goal with the least amount of moves. It's usually more effective to think of it that way. So I'm very curious, why approach instead of enclosing the corner on the top right? Do you just like complicated games, or what is your reasoning? Because even in the opening, we have choices, and since there's multiple good things, we want to choose the thing that makes the game easiest for us, especially if we're black. Okay, you logged into Twitch. Especially if you're black, you want to make the game as easy as possible for you, right? So this move makes the game very complicated and tries to play a lot of fighting stuff. Now, granted, playing complications against stronger players is a possible strategy. But we're assuming that we're playing this against your own level. Do you like fighting? Do you think you're very good at fighting? Do you like fighting? Are you going for speed? What is your reasoning for choosing this opening? Left side needed invading. That reasoning, I'm going to say, is incorrect. And thank you for the follow, PMA Smiles. Welcome to the insane world of Go. You like fighting, yes, that'd be a reason, but I'm going to say that you thinking the left side needs invaded is not a good reason to play this move. If you liked fighting, yes. If you like speed or something, then that could be argued too. If you like complications and see what you can do with it, maybe. I mean, there's many reasons that this move is possible, but saying that the left side needs invaded is just greedy. That's a greedy mindset, and that's a mindset we don't want to be in, because Go is about making exchanges. It's not about stopping your opponent from getting everything. So if I play here and you play here, and then if you play there and I play there and then you play here, who's getting more? Well, black's getting more. If we just play these basic exchanges, black's getting more. White still gets something, but black gets more. So if you're just saying that you want to stop your opponent from getting something, that's not a good mindset to be in, because not only do you have the lead in points, but you can't prevent your opponent from getting something. You have to make an exchange. That's the whole purpose of the game. You're just trying to get more than your opponent. You're not trying to stop your opponent from getting something. You're trying to get more than what your opponent gets. So, in my opinion, I think enclosing here or here is easier to play as black. And I would say just play this one until you're down level. The difference between this one and this one is so small for amateur players that there's no reason to have the extra complications until like you're down level. I would say you can get away with this one until you're down level, which is fine. There's no reason for the complications. It's just why make it hard on yourself? Just make the game easy for yourself, and you'll win more often. But I think an enclosure here is easier to play for black. So white has several options. I could just simply take Sente, right? And then approach your corner, stop your Shamari. I could approach here and maybe aim for Sente to go here. It's another option. So I can do several things as white to make play a simple game, but I wanted to see how you would do with complications. Now you really like this bumping your own head move. By definition, this is a bad move. Now, granted, in the corner, there's a lot of things you can do, and I didn't exactly punish you, so I think another problem I have is post-Joseki moves. Like, never sure how to profit from the result. Okay, we'll get to that in a second. So this shape is usually bad for black, right? Most of the time. So usually you just don't play this bump your own head. It creates bad liberties. It gives your opponent forcing moves against you. But probably I didn't punish you properly, so I can't say that this situation is bad. But normally, this shape is not good. I think probably I should go for the outside, even if you get the corner. I mean, who cares? I go here, dot, 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 dot. Dot, dot. Right? I mean, at the end of the day, who, like, cares? Familiar or something? I don't know. See, I don't even know it. I don't even know this move. So I went here, because I'm like, I don't know this move, so I'm just going to go for a base, right? If you don't know it, don't try too hard to punish it. You might just end up hurting yourself. So I just went for a base. I mean, I have a weak group, I go for a base. And then Tiger's Mouth, right? This is very simple for white. I don't know the move, so I just played very simply. And you get a lot. But this is your first mistake, right? Because this one... So first off, what's your purpose? And you said you struggle with post-Joseki. Well, post-Joseki, is the same as during Joseki. You have to think, what is the goal? Are there any weak groups? If there's a weak group, you should probably help it. And if it's your opponent's weak group, then you should try to take advantage of it, right? And then you go for big move. Big move is open corners, open sides, largest framework. And that's like the Clossi approach or whatever, right? So do you have a weak group? The top left can be considered a weak group for black, but it's one-on-one. If you're saying you're treating that as light, so it's not a weak group yet, if you're treating it that way, then the next thing you want to do is go for a big move. So open corners, open sides. So where's an open side? Well, the bottom side's definitely open, but so is the right side kind of, but maybe the right side's okay. If you want to say just open side, you can get away with it just by playing this. You can get away with this. Like, this is okay. Yes, white can invade with something like that, but it's not a major deal because it's very easy to deal with white's combinations, and you still get points. So even if your combination's only a little bit flimsy, it's okay because you're still going for the open sides. And open sides you can get away with 90% of the time, right? The last 10% is going to be situational, specialty, fighting type stuff. That's the last 10%, but we don't have to worry about that. If you can win 90% of the time in the opening, or not win the game, but if you can play a good opening 90% of the time with just by going for the weakness first and then open side second, it should be good. You should be fine. This one though, I think the purpose is to develop the right side, but you're trying to build up the framework without an extension, and usually you need an extension. Yeah, Q10's possible. usually you need an extension before you try building it up, because it makes it harder to invade, right? Here, or maybe even here. It makes it harder to invade when you have that extension. It's already taken the base and pincering whatever invasion you have. So I think if you wanted to build it up, for example like this, then it's a little early because it's very easy to invade. So I'd say don't worry about building up a position until you have an extension. The second thing I want to say is this is a kind of a basic shape. 1 point jump against your opponent's stone is going to have cutting points, right? Here and here. It's going to have cutting points. Getting cut is severely underestimated in the single-digit Qs. As a double-digit Q player, you don't see the cuts, and then you get cut all the time, you die, and you learn, you start defending the cuts, and then you maybe over-defend the cuts, and you start backing off. And then in single-digit Qs, you're like, okay, there's no direct kill when I get cut, so the cut's fine. Or you stop checking the cuts as often as you did as a double-digit Q, because you just feel like it's maybe below you, or you've done it 1,000 times, so you're like, oh, that's second nature now. That's not true. The cuts, it's not that the cuts stop existing when you get there. It's just they become, your level cuts are less obvious. So yes, when I cut right here, you can Nobi. When I Atari right here, you can Nobi. When I go down, you can connect. So yes, there's no death. Like in double-digit Q cuts, something usually dies or gets captured immediately. And single-digit Q cuts, usually nothing dies immediately. But you can clearly see in the game that if you take advantage of it, you can get squeezed, you can get Atari, you can get forcing moves used against you, you can get disconnected into weak groups. There's many higher level ways to take advantage of cuts at your level, and that is something that I think your level really struggles with, is you're not understanding the importance of staying connected when you're doing something. Usually, you don't worry about getting cut in when you're trying to attack. The cuts are less important. You still have to watch out for them, but they're less important. When you're playing Sabaki, you still know the cuts exist, but you have plans for them. And then maybe with the Tsuji, the cuts are okay. But usually, you don't want to get cut. And so when you're developing, getting cut is usually not good, unless the cut clearly doesn't work. So my suggestion for you is no matter what, read the cuts. No matter what, read the cuts. Because even if the cut doesn't directly work, you sometimes can threaten to cut, or you can squeeze something by utilizing the Aji that the cut creates. Now, this is not every time, but you'll find probably half the time at your level, cuts can be utilized in very special ways if you're clever. So always, always, always read the cuts. Even if they're obvious, still try to read them out and see what you have to look for or watch out for for the cut to become active or something like that. So in this case, this is just a bad shape and it gets cut, and I can destroy your right side. If you wanted to do something, this would be technically less cuts, but you can still see there's a lot of forcing moves, and it's still very easy for white to get in. So I see no reason not to just push to build this area. There's no reason to leave the cuts, because in this case, this is a ladder, right? So I would say these cuts are just not good. Okay. Yeah, so I took advantage of the cut. And here, definitely overplay. This is your base. So your perspective has to change. So you said the push makes my top big. Yes, my top is big, but your right side is bigger. You have that mindset again. You're too greedy. Your opponent's going to get something. It's okay for your opponent to get something. This area is not as big as this area. Yeah, I think you have a little bit of a greedy mindset. Try to give your opponent stuff. See what happens when you give your opponent something. What do you get while you're giving that? Do you get more? Do you get the same amount? It's okay to give your opponent something. The best plans are usually the plans that give your opponent what they want. You just get more while they're getting that thing. So you're pretty much threatening to destroy their area, so they defend it, and then you get more. While they defend those points, you get more. That's a great way to build a moyo. That's like a very easy way to build a moyo. Is you usually play on the line of yours and theirs. You reduce theirs, and it builds yours. And it's a very good way to build a moyo. I still think open sides would be nice here. Alright, so in this case, remember that weakness is a bigger priority than anything else. Getting cut off... getting cut off and getting surrounded like this, you're risking death, right? And if you die, that's going to be bigger than any big move, because that's a double the value. A dead group is double the value. So even if you're not going to die, the forcing moves that I get from it are going to be really good for me. So remember, if you have ever studied in-game, Sente doubles the value of your move because you get it for free. You get it and the next thing. So Sente pretty much double the values of your move. So if I get to destroy this area in Sente, like I did in the game...
Why are you eating a banana like that?
Hi, Rose. If I destroy this area in Sente like I did in the game, then you can see that I destroyed like 10 or 15 points for free. So that's a 30-point exchange in my favor. Because I get 10 or 15 points here, and I got another like 10 or 15 points here. And this is probably about like 12 points, because 6 points for me. You could have stopped it in Sente, so probably like 24 points, or like 12 points to, or more, 12 or more points. So I got, what, almost 30 points? Just a rough count. We're not doing exact counting. We're saying a rough count is approximately 30 points. Is what I got from just attacking you here. Because I destroyed your points, plus I got the next move of making my points. So that's how you can think about that. So that is why this move is not 30 points. No. So let me tell you a little story. When I was talking to pros, I was talking to them about how some pros always love to attack and kill things, and they're like, no. Pros love attacking. Pros hate killing, because when you attack, the exchange rate is very good for you, because your opponent's playing like 1-point moves or 0-point moves trying to live, and you get more than that on the outside. But when you kill, you get the value of the group, and your opponent will get Sente to go play a big move. The big move might be the value of that group or close to it, and so the exchange rate's not nearly as big of a difference. It doesn't matter how many points you get. It matters how many points you get relative to your opponent. So pros love attacking, but they really don't like killing. Unless it's much bigger than the big move, they usually don't like killing. They prefer Sente. So, killing stuff is not the purpose of attacking. The purpose of attacking is to make a Sente exchange rate that is basically making you more points than your opponent. So every single move, I'm increasing our point gap. It's not about how many points I get. That doesn't matter. It's about how much I increase that gap in points between our moves. So yeah, it goes about the exchange rate, not about the amount of points you get. And so attacking is the best exchange rate you get and go. So that is why attacking is so important. And that is why not getting attacked is so important, because your opponent gets all these free moves. Yeah, so this was definitely in White's favor. You played here. I thought this one was really cool. Unfortunately, I didn't know the Joseki. I don't want to spend too much time looking it up, so I just did my best here. I think So in the Avalanche, we trade, right? Or here, here. Or whatever it is, right? And like a small Avalanche, it's something similar to this, where you just trade. So what happens if we do that in the game? Dude. Okay, so yeah, so maybe it's worth just taking. My top's not that big. Honestly, the bottom is bigger than the top. This is actually something I noticed during the game. You didn't get to the bottom at all. And the bottom is like the biggest area on the board. It's open. Both players can develop there. I thought the top was much smaller than the bottom. So if I develop the top, shoot. Let's trade. I'll ignore you all day long. I think the bottom is much bigger than the top. Don't underestimate the open areas. Open areas. So remember, I said open corners, open sides, largest framework. That means open sides are bigger than the largest framework. Like more times than not. So sometimes I'll say that I think this largest framework is bigger than the open side, but that's a judgment call. I would say until you are playing the open side every single time, don't worry about making that judgment call. Play the open side 100% of the time before you play the largest area, and you will be right like 80% or 90% of the time. So I think that's a good percentage. I think that's an okay percentage. So open sides first, and then when you win, like, or you play 100 games that way, you'll have 20 situations where it wasn't, and then you'll use those as references for that last 10 to 20%. So if you win 80 out of 100 games by going for the open sides, then you'll gain the experience necessary to determine when the open side is not bigger. But at the same time, you still won 80% of the games. So theoretically. So I think just go for the open sides before the largest framework every single time, and it'll be a lot easier for you. Yeah, this, I got a lot of forcing moves, and I was able to use those forcing moves to invade you later. And it's really hard for you to do anything over here because of the forcing moves that I have. Just go here. Because of my forcing moves, it's really hard for you to do anything on top. So I think I got enough from the forcing moves. This exchange wasn't bad, because you also did it in Sente. But I think, again, Nobi is better. Because with the Nobi, I can't jump.
Nobi.
Because you have all these forcing moves. Maybe just here. You have all these forcing moves, so I can't really jump. I have to jump here. And then, ta-da! It's on the third line instead of the fourth line. So I think Nobi here is better. So another problem I think you had that you have is you try to be too fancy. But I have an expression: fancy people go broke. Have you ever noticed the clothing that celebrities wear versus the clothing that billionaires wear? Like business billionaires? Celebrities wear all this fancy jewelry, all this fancy hairdo, all these fancy clothes. But if you look at billionaires, they have very, like, just polo shirts and stuff, right? Very cheap clothing. But it's, you know, it's nice, but it's not, like, fancy. But it keeps them dressed. They look nice, professional, and they don't lose a lot of money doing it. Try to do more with less. Your investment should be little, so that way you can Tanuki and you can get to somewhere else more quickly and invest somewhere else. But at the same time, it should do its job. So if your investment is to play a move that destroys some points on top in Sente, then you want to do the one that destroys the most points in Sente, while leaving you with the least amount of moves that you have to play later, so you don't have to invest moves later, so that way you can invest those moves elsewhere. So you want to invest the least amount of moves in this area while doing its job. Even if I get 4th line, I think the investment is still better than a 1-point jump because potentially I can get a Panuki here. So you see that you spend more moves. You want to do less moves. You want to do less moves to do your job. You don't want to invest more moves. You want to invest the least amount of moves. Approaching high here is a little much. I have so many forcing moves, like in the with the A stones, that the bottom side is bigger than the left side. So I would play on the bottom side.
If I ever have to create another character on OGS or something, it's gonna be
Like,
Nobi.
what about like,
Nobi.
what about like this, and then I don't know. Maybe that's not good. Maybe that's not good. Maybe just defending is good, because I think Slyfox pointed out this move, and you can go and then we can approach here. Yay! We exchange the right for the bottom, and now we approach here. Seems fair. And if he wants to go Moyo, okay, cool. All right, I have a lot of points, and now I just reduce your Moyo. Very manageable, very easy. Less chance for you to die. I think that's fairly easy. But cool. I think this gives a really big corner, and your Moyo doesn't justify such a big corner. Like, the high approach is almost never played. Like, you could literally get away with never playing the high approach. But the corner is much bigger than this side. But yeah, I think we've spent enough time reviewing. I think I gave you enough to work on. So conclusions, open sides, don't underestimate attacking, and make your shapes more efficient. Yeah. Open sides, shape, efficiency, and don't underestimate attacking. Hopefully that will help you out. Alright, thanks for playing. Hope you enjoyed. So I'm going to get to the next game.
Why don't I play someone and review our game so it's more even?
Huh? Okay. Yeah, she's gonna do it later.
That's fine. I'm just letting you know.
Alright, thank you. Alright. Let's do 19Q to 1Q. No, not 1 Don. I'm a 1 Don. Alright, great challenge.
I thought you were a 4 Don.
Teaching game. I know, I suck. I'm a 1 Don.
How can you teach?
Alright, that was 2 teaching games. Ding, ding, ding.
Sean doesn't deserve to teach 1Qs.
Alright. Hi, have fun.
We've already just tech night. Rose doesn't like working tech night.
He's gonna be busy.
Yeah, because all the stupid college students come.
Hey, does that mean you can break your record for the window?
No, we didn't do it Friday. The new idea works very well. It went very smooth. We just ran out of people. Like, no one came. We're like, well, what do we do?
You can do it tonight. College.
Alright.
But they come in.
Alright, so left side. Alright, I'm gonna go open side. Oh, left side's bigger than top side, right? So let's go. I'll practice what I preach.
Sounds so cocky.
You have to be confident / cocky and go. You put the green. What are you doing with the green blanket? Did you wash it?
It was in the dryer last.
Well, yeah, but the cat's peed on it again.
Speaking of cats,
Are you gonna clean out the poop and pee? Also supposed to let the cats out.
Nope, they're not coming out till they get potty trained. Alright. I'm still going left side. I'm choosing a Joseki that goes in the direction I want it to go. Like, I'm still playing the same open side direction. That's all I'm doing. Whoop! 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 Nope. I'm not letting you get away with that. 11Q, you're almost single digit Q. You can't get cut and die. I'm treating you like a 9Q. Not an 11Q, because you have to learn how to be a 9Q. Don't get cut so easily. Don't die so easily. Yeah, you didn't protect your weakness. Never underestimate my ability to get cut and die. Yeah, don't get cut, guys. Bad things happen. F16, F17, what's better? F16 or F17? F17. You want to be third line for a base. Alright, so you play big move. Alright, open side's the bottom side. I'm gonna go open side. Open side. Alright, now we're at largest framework. Everything has an extension, so largest framework. This is also can be considered the center of both Moyos because technically he has dude and I have dude. Mine's just a little bit bigger. That's because of his mistake, but you have center of both Moyos, so you can technically try to build while reducing. It's another option. But you can also invade. Doesn't matter. Invade, reduce, build. All are fine. Ooh, boy. Ooh, Mrs. Clossi should be home soon. Alright, so he invaded. So step one, take the base. What? Alright, so I could take the base here, but then he'll surround me. So, step one, still make my base and don't get surrounded. Alright, now I'm fine. So, he's under pressure because he only has one eye. So, step one, take the base is done. Step two, surround. And you can surround with knights moves. That's okay. Alright, and he has to live. And as long as I get Sentei while he's living, I'm happy. Alright. He just lives right here, I'm assuming. Oh. Alright, so he lived, and this is fine. I get one more forcing move since it didn't make the tiger's mouth.
No, it's not Clossi Jr. It's very much not Clossi Jr.
Alright, so his shape is completely alive. If I go here, he goes here. If I go here, he goes... Yeah, this is completely alive. You do not want to lose Sentei while attacking. It's very important. He's not going to die, so it's not worth a big move to keep pressuring. Alright, so I got my profit. I sealed some points here. I kept the corner alive, and I got some influence. So I'm good. Profit is good. So big move, right side, top side, or Moyo. Since he invaded me, I should probably invade him, so I'm going to go top side. It's easy to invade. I can also just reduce here or here. Those are all fine. All good options. See, 11Q though, I don't want to make a major Moyo against 11Q, so I'm going to invade. Oh, thank you for the follow, Ayui. Welcome to the insane world of Go. Ooh! Almost killed the stream boss. The stream boss is almost dead. Alrighty. So he kicks Inobi. Tiger's Mouth is Vital Point. Alright, so he lives. I'm make some ice space. Thank you. This is reducing ice space, so that's step 3. So I'm still at step 2, so I'm gonna run away. Step 2, run away.
You know what Rose said when I said that someone said I was Clossi Jr.? She said, no, you're Clossi 2.0.
Alright, so I can't be surrounded in 3 moves. Oh, thank you for the follow, Ghost Scum. Welcome to the Insane World of Go. So his move isn't attacking anything. I can't be surrounded in 3 moves. So big move. Open corners, none. Open sides, right side, and the bottom is invadable, so that's kind of open. So let's go here. Because the right side can be built. But at the same time, if I have an extension and I build this up, I completely seal the bottom invasions. So I think it's an okay trade. But you can also play the right side and it'll be fine. Both are fine. Alright, so he's building the bottom. So building without an extension, usually I just want to invade those. So let's play shoulder head. Just reduce it. Opinion of using trick moves in teaching games. I don't like those because teaching games should be about teaching the basics. Trick moves is just tactics that should work against your own level, I guess. But how is that going to help the student? That you always have to ask that question. How is that going to help the student? And I think trick moves would just confuse them. And yeah, you'll teach them a trick, but what happens when their opponents learn how to deal with the trick? Well, then what basic did you teach them? And since you didn't teach them a basic, I prefer not doing it. I prefer just basics. Basics, basics, basics. Direction of play, good shape, good mindset, what's your goal, etc. This is a little slow, so I'm going to go make a big move. Right here. This should stop the invasion right here. Or make it easier to deal with if he does. This is not too big, so keep building the biggest area. Just keep building it. Save my important stones. Don't get cut. Okay. Build the biggest area. Shoulder hit. Batsko has a basic series, yes. I also have a Clossi approach, which is it's kind of the same thing, but also just different styles. But we both teach the basics, yes. Batsko also teaches the basics. He and I have different ways of teaching the basics, but it's still the same thing technically. It's just we've each developed our own style of teaching the basics. Cool. I really like the Clossi approach, but I'm biased. I'm going to defend this because I'm worried about some Haji. Is that Peep Sente? I'll allow it to be Sente. I'll let that be Sente. So, it looks like we're in endgame now. So before we just get to endgame, I want to fight with him. The biggest weakness of double-digit Qs is their ability to fight. So I'm going to fight, and here's the most confusing one, I think. Because they need to learn how to surround things, how to attack things, and how to not get cut. So I'm going to fight. Because we didn't get a single fight this game. And he needs to at least practice fighting. At least once. Okay. Let's go crazy and try to live. Let's go crazy and try to live. I get Sabaki here, but Sabaki's a little too much. So let's just go crazy and try to live. This isn't a trick. This is just, I want to see how his reading is. Because we didn't have a single fight. And I've already won him points. So now it's try to develop his reading. Do I want to clamp? Would 11 Qs need the clamp? No. I think the clamp is probably like 7Q plus. So let's not clamp. Let's just reduce. I think he played good. I think he did that good. Yeah, I think he played okay. He did kill me. I think he's happy. He's probably happy that he killed me. Uh-oh, he's a little scared. Scared move. But I suppose he wants to fix the clamp, but this also kind of fixes the clamp, so it's... Oh well. Alright, so anything else to learn from this game? I mean, it's in-game, but in-game's not important to some... I saw the clamp, yeah. Okay, so let's test the life and death. So reduce eye space first. Let's see how it responds. Reduce eye space. What will he do? Alright. Doink. Doink. Oh, he knows the shape. Cool. Alright. I think that's everything this game. I don't want to play the end game because that's not going to matter because the center's too big. So I think that's good. Resign. Thank you for the game. Let's review. Hey. Oh, he said hey. Oh, I need to go back. Okay. 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 So...
Hello?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Cool. Are you the...
Yeah, I'm the guy you just crushed. Yeah.
Alright, cool. Yeah, I resigned because I felt like there wasn't that much to learn left. So let's go ahead and review.
Yeah.
Okay. So you approached a star point. In theory, approaching the 3-4 is bigger than approaching a star point. Just because the star point's 4-4.
By
So
the way, can I just like excuse like some of my play? This was like maybe my 30th game of 19 by 19.
Oh! Then you played really well. I think you played really well. If you're not used to the 19 by 19, you played really well.
Yeah, I learned to play Go like a year ago, and I just played 9 by 9 for like a month. And then I stopped playing, and then I got into playing again this month when I joined my college's Go club.
Oh my gosh.
So, I have no clue what I'm doing in the opening of 19 by 19 at all. So.
Gotcha.
So, approaching the 3/4 bigger here?
It's not here specifically, it's just, in theory, stopping a Shamari is bigger than stopping a star points enclosure.
Okay.
In theory. So, if you're going to go for open side, and you're going to say that's the left side instead of the right side, that's perfectly fine. But usually approaching the 3-4 and stopping the Shamari is considered bigger. But it's not, it's very minor. I would say it's up to you, but my recommendation is stop the Shamari is easier. Now, if there's a choice between two open sides that are equal distance and both on the fourth line, and everything's equal, then I would develop yours first as black. or even as white sometimes, it's okay to develop yours first. If both sides are equal, just because then your opponent has to respond to you instead of you responding to your opponent. So it creates more a more comfortable game, even though they're the same value. But it's not that your move's bad. Your move's not bad. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
I did play this one because I'm choosing the left side instead of the top side. When you have Joseki options, I recommend this for everyone. Always give yourself at least 4 options. 2 options on the top, so here 1, 2 for the start point, and then 2 options for the left. So I would say 1 space low and a 2 space high is the easiest to learn first. So I'd say always give yourself 4 Josekis for every corner. For like a 4-4, for a 3-3, and for a 3-4, always have 4 Josekis. And these are the 4 I recommend for the start point. This way, you can always play a Joseki in the right direction. Because remember, directional play is more important than playing the right Joseki. But if you can, so if you give yourself 4 options, you'll always have 2 options in the right direction that you can adjust to the other stones. So, for example, if you have other stones around, maybe 1 is better than 2 or 2 is better than 1, but they're both in the right direction. So you'll have 2 options to play per board situation in the right direction if you have 4 Joseki options per opening stone. So in this case, the directional play is left, and I chose a 3 space extension because I have a 3-4 point, and it's similar to the Chinese. It's just 1 space away from the Chinese opening. So I figured that would be a nice combination, but I could have easily chosen a low here or a high move here, and all of it's fine. It's just I'm choosing pincer because of the direction of play. Alright, so you chose this, so I'm going to stick to my direction of play. You chose this. I'm still sticking to my direction. Here, you need to connect out. That's the Joseki here, and it's the reason it's Joseki is because you are connecting your weak groups and making a base. So I would pretty much fix for points.
That move, and then I don't know why I didn't play it. What did I do instead? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so you chose an open side. So here you chose to sacrifice the corner. But if you were going to do this, then it's a bad combination. You should have just chose here.
Okay.
There's no reason to make this exchange if you're going to come back.
Okay.
Your move. So this move isn't the mistake. It's the combination that you
It's
make.
the plan in general. Okay.
Yeah. If you're going to play here, then just play here. That's fine.
Okay.
But I still think the right side's bigger than this, so probably you could choose this. And that might be fine. That's perfectly fine. Open sides, right? And you have Miai for the 3-3 and a jump back. So you have a Miai for base, so it's fine to Tanuki. But in this case, you chose to go in the corner. Well, your combination here needs to make your stones work together. And then you can choose like that.
17 is my follow-up planned out, and then I did... Okay.
Yeah, here, letting me cut is just too easy.
Yeah,
but then you tried to live on top of it, and that was...
No, it's just bad.
Yeah, that's just bad. This is just a bad exchange.
I've seen this sequence before, right? I think I need to lose to it 10 more times.
Yeah. You're supposed to connect, and then that, and then, like, this, I guess. But,
Yeah.
you, I guess, can live? Technically? But then what's the purpose of your 2 stones on top? You just really damage the outside, so it's...
Yeah. So it's just a clear opening.
But then you play here, and then I just kill you. So this one's bad, and this one's the worst. Because then you just kill your corner. You make an exchange that kills your own stones. So that's not a good exchange.
That was me thinking that the stones in the corner were dead anyway. So just trying to just...
Well, then you shouldn't play the Hane.
Okay.
The Hane says you're trying to live. This one says...
The Hane, I was trying to live, and then after E18 I was like, damn.
Yeah. So the reading here...
in general, poorly thought out, yeah.
Yeah, the reading here was not as good as your reading in this area.
Yeah.
So the difference in reading is actually quite large. So I think if you can read like you did on the right side at the end, everywhere else, then you probably can get to 10Q or 9Q. But the top left is definitely the 11Q showing because you killed your own stones. Okay, so now that I've like given you enough crap about this move, you said you wanted to use the Aji and sacrifice the corner because you knew it was dead, right? The way you utilize the Aji of dead stuff is you utilize it by getting something in exchange for forcing your opponent to kill it. Usually it's really bad to force your opponent to kill stuff because it kills all the Aji. Alright, there's no more Aji when you force them to kill it. So it's considered Aji Keshi. It kills the Aji, right? There's no more Aji. But if you get something, it's okay, because it's a trade. You kill the Aji in exchange for something. What was the trade here?
So I thought that after F18 I was feeling better about my base up on top.
Okay. Then your exchange was to get the 17 area to stop the H17 invasions. Okay, that's fine. A better way to do it is to do this.
I'm sure there's better ways to
yeah,
do it.
but
Like
I would say
I was kind of just...
your reasoning for utilizing the Aji is good. The way you did it could be better, but every plan that we ever come up with could be better until we're pro, right?
Okay.
So don't worry about making your plans perfect. Just execute your plans. And I think you executed your plan quite nicely here. Granted, this move's bad, but I would say these moves are okay because you executed your plan properly. Maybe it's not as efficient as it could be, but I would say like this mindset here is locally not a mistake. Does that make sense?
Okay.
But I do dislike the fact that you sacrificed your corner in general, but you utilize the Aji of the Dead Stones to fix something. I think that's fine. And you Tanuki, so I think that's fine. I think that's okay. That's good. Alright, then you came in, perfectly fine. 2-space jump, yep. This one is a little soft. If you wanted to live locally, you would go here. And then make this... Yeah. That exchange, and then here.
In general, that armpit hit is something that I've been noticing recently that I have a bad habit of doing.
Right.
But
this, locally, is not bad, because you just live. It could be better, but it's not a bad idea. This one's better because they can't cut. If they try to cut, you get all these forcing moves, and you break out. This is the opposite of what White wants to do. White wants to surround you, so White should be consistent and surround you. And if you do this and then live, it's okay, but it could be better. So I would say if you want to do this, that's fine, and then exchange here, and that's fine. You're alive. Now you can Tanuki and go here. Oh, I keep misclicking and go here. Yeah. Oh, and thank you, Shaba, for the sub. Thank you for supporting the stream. I appreciate it.
When is Kara get off work?
Oh, the stream boss died. I need to do that. Remind me, guys, to do the stream boss spin wheel thingy after this review.
What is
Kara should be home any minute now. So here you tried to live locally. That's okay. I think you should do a little bit better when you get to single GQ. You should try to live a little bit more efficiently. But for now, it's okay. However, this one doesn't increase your eye space, so I would just go here.
Okay.
At your level. When you get a little bit better, you can exchange this first and then go here. And the reason you need this now is because of this Aji. Here. Here. And that's because of your diagonal. So because of your diagonal, you need to fix. And now you're alive, and it's perfectly fine. So maybe not as good as it could be, but it's not bad because you lived. You defended your weak group. That's good. So here, honestly, I would sacrifice the 2 points so you didn't have the Seki shape. Because this did lead to a Seki at the end. So just revent it. It's worth 2 points. So just go here.
Did I play correctly at the end?
Yes, you did play correctly.
I couldn't read anything better than the Seki, so...
We'll look at it, but probably it's these moves that caused the Seki more than anything else. Because there was no other obvious bad idea, so I think it's just the shape that you have now that really caused your Seki later more than anything else. Alright, here, kick was good because you made a base. This one's a little soft because you're attacking. So you can easily run away before you start making the ice base, and I'm weaker than you are. And then you could go here, so that way if I play here for the Aji, I can't run away.
Yeah, I think I read out a scary variation with you playing there.
Yeah.
But K18.
But you can,
like that.
if you block the escape paths, it's more efficient than just directly fixing. So indirectly fixing can sometimes be more efficient. Not all the time. I would say probably you want to have about a 50-50 on that.
Okay.
But in open areas, it's usually better to just block the escape paths than directly fixing, especially if you're attacking. It's better for both players to run away than for you to just kind of back off like this, because it's too soft on your opponent. Alright, so I made a base. Here, you're trying to steal ice base. I say base. This is ice base. So I made a quick ice base to just have some ice, so it'll be easier for me to run. But when you're attacking, stealing the base is step 1, but there's no base here. There's no efficient eyes. So I would say you're at step 2, not step 3. And so step 2 is surround, and step 3 is ice base. So here I would surround.
I see a good way to surround here.
If there's no good way, then just indirectly attack it while building. So even this. If you want, you could even choose this and threaten a cap. As long as you're making profit while surrounding. This is soft. It's too soft. It's not good, but it's better than just playing here because it's points. But I would probably either pick this direction or this direction. Maybe even here, because you have that shape. Some type of cap or surrounding idea. Just some surrounding idea, it's fine. I would just try to surround, and it's fine. This one's just a little small. So I run away. You do destroy my influence. I would say jump is bigger. Since your influence is not nearly as big as mine, it's better to destroy mine. But probably, that's locally. Globally, I think the right side's going to be bigger than the center. Even if I do this, it's very easy for you to invade. So there's no Moyo, so I think the getting 1 for 2 would be very nice. This is just a little bit small. It's bigger to make points on the side than making a very small area like this. Here, I had the option of destroying the right as well, but I can see some invasions here and here. So I was just.
I would have played F3.
Yeah.
At some point, if you hadn't gotten.
I was thinking that it's okay to trade 1 for 1 like this to stop the invasions, because then I can just invade now. So I can stop my weaknesses. But the right side is technically a little bit bigger than the bottom, if we're just talking points. But since I have some weakness, I kind of wanted to fix the weakness. Alright, so here you developed without an extension. Remember, you want an extension before you jump up.
Okay.
So here I chose a reduction. This is probably easier and better here or here. It's more points than this one. If you're on the second line, you're probably doing something wrong, but I guess in this case it's okay. Normally against 1 point jump, 1 point jump, you want a wedge.
Yeah, I just.
And now I would invade, because I destroyed your right side, so you should destroy my bottom side.
Okay.
And that way it's an even exchange.
Not get quashed then?
What?
Does A3 actually have a hope then?
Oh, yeah, because it's a 3-space extension, and they're both high. So, for example, if you invade right now,
So
first,
what, K3?
first we check the wedges.
Okay.
So if I go here and try to cut, there's a potential co at worst case. If you connect, go here, there's potential to walk in and kill the corner. That's possible. And if Y just blocks the outside, like so, hello, Mrs. Clossi, then you can see there is some hope. It's a little sketch, but there's hope. It's not impossible. Maybe here.
Oh, we got
Yeah, I
a
mean,
sock.
maybe, because I would kind of lean on that corner.
And that's just with the wedge, right? That's a wedge.
Hey,
Yeah.
Raza.
Hello, Raza. Another option is, so this shape, it looks like it's a common habit for you. This is a bad shape. One-on-one like this creates cuts, because whoever wedges first has the advantage. It's better to Nobi, because in fights and life and death, tiger's mouths are very common vital points. So preventing the tiger's mouth peeps the cuts.
Okay.
Like something like that. Maybe like that, or maybe even a sacrifice play is possible. It's not the best to sacrifice it usually. It's better to just live if you can. This looks like it might live. Worst case Seki or something. I don't know. I would read it more than I am, but I'm saying this is another option. And then usually white might fix. And then you get the push, 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 high there. And so there's many variations for life here.
Okay. But that was an idea which I should have at least looked at.
Yeah, you should have considered it. If you don't like that one, you could also play Peep there, and then maybe Sabaki is possible.
What? It's,
Like here, then here. And if they cut, you go. So there's many cool things you can do.
It's complicated. You should have looked at it at least.
Yeah, it's complicated, but you're never going to learn it until you try it.
Okay.
Hello,
I
Bag
need
Bum.
to start trying things.
Yep. Don't be afraid of invasions. Just think of it as a learning experience, and then have people review it and show you different ways that you can invade. The most important thing is when you invade, check the wedge, check the wedge, check the Nobi, check the Nobi.
Okay.
Those are the 4 most common moves. Learn those first, then you can learn fancy stuff. But this is really slow.
For some reason, I had read it Sente, but of course you don't need to. That's
Yeah.
like 1 stone. So.
This one is not an open side. This is just 4 or 6 points. Reduce, because now the invasion is actually really difficult. So reducing here or here, or some type of reduction is going to be better.
Yeah, because in the end, your Moyo was huge, so I needed to do something.
Yeah, but you can see that you had several chances to do it. So here's chance number 1, chance number 2, and chance number 3 for reduction. And now you can see that it's really, really
Now,
big.
okay.
Here I just reduce. And here, it's pretty much game over. I'm not going to lose this game on points. And there's nowhere for me to die, so I don't think Black has a chance anymore. This was another slow move, but I'll let you get away with it. So now I tested crazy stuff.
Okay.
How do you respond? You responded quite well here. I think you responded quite well. Yes, there is a clamp.
Yeah, I actually, because, you know, by this point, like, I figured, like, okay, I'm losing on points, so I'll pull up the stream and listen to hear what he's saying. And, like, you said, like, that you thought that move was scary, and I don't know, I kind of read this out and I didn't think. I did miss the clamp for the very first move, but I also, anyway.
Yeah. If I clamp and try to live in the corner, I'm risking a lot more on the side. So I don't think I would ever choose this. But
yeah, I thought I could kill you even if you clamped.
Well, you can't. You can kill those 4 stones. But killing the corner is actually really hard. The trick is, this is why I didn't do it, because it's complicated. The idea is, even if white lives, it's good for you because you destroy the outside. What was it? Because when you destroy the outside, you destroy more points than you lost. Even if white lives here, like, it's okay. Because you just get, like, more moves on the outside. Something here, here, you can run away into the Moyo. It's not worth it for white to give up his lead there. But yeah, there is Aji, but honestly, this Aji probably you won't learn to like 5Q+. But I wanted to see, because your opponents are not going to play this move correctly, but they are going to try crap like this all the time. So they probably won't see the clamp, but they will see just random invasions. And I wanted to see how your basic reading was. And here, I think you played good enough at your level that we didn't have to worry about it. I think you responded perfectly fine here. Of course, stronger players can make this work against you because their reading is better than yours. For example, better response would probably be here. And there's no way to run away. And if I try like here, there's no way to run. And it's okay if that gets cut off because it's only points. So at best, I might be able to do something like that. But that I have anyway. So my invasion doesn't really do anything. So you didn't respond perfectly, but you responded good for your level. And I think that's all I wanted to establish. So I didn't play the clamp. Here, you can actually protect the clamp, but this is fine.
Yeah, I was wondering if that protected the clamp. I don't know. Okay, that 7 I did not see.
7 is actually a really important move to remember. It's
yeah,
don't respawn here, because then I can actually kill you. But if you respond here, it's self-Atari on either side.
Yeah. Okay.
Big difference.
I missed that 7. So
okay, so you learned that shape. That's cool.
Yeah, because the 3-3 was the first one I read out there because I got scared of that clamp.
Yeah.
And then so yeah, that's why that moved, because scared of clamp.
Yeah. So here I try to test your life and death. You didn't die. That was the goal. So that's fine. Can you do something better? Well, let's check. What if we played this one first, the center of the vital point? That would die, so that's not good. Check the 1-point jump. That would probably die as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it looks like the Psyche's the best.
And I checked those too, which I think is more important than actual life or death of this shape, is that I did know to check those.
Yeah. So I think you played this perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Now the issue.
I played B7 was A7 a possibility? Was the other question, or is it?
What?
When I played B7 was A7 also a possibility?
Right here?
Yeah,
no.
I saw that. Okay. Okay, that's good to know. But yeah, I saw that B7 was Seki. I wasn't seeing anything better out of A7.
Yeah.
And I went
this has to do with your shape. Yeah, this has to do with your shape earlier, rather than right now.
Right,
I think your shape
I should
earlier.
have played B7 early, back when I played C7.
Right. And then it would have been a second.
Then my eye space is very nice and has 2 eyes. Okay.
Yeah, so we can move this stone here. Alright, so
Yeah,
white tries to play this. Well, this would be a little bit different, because now you have no space to run away to, so technically the eye space is better where you played, but this is actually going back to, you should have had this shape.
Okay.
And this you could have gotten with the exact same amount of moves, pretty much, or it was just the Sentai. White gets a little bit more on the outside, but now there's not a single chance for you to die. So, like,
Gotcha.
where am I gonna play? Here, 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 and maybe try to make a false eye here or something. I don't know. You just go here. I can see there's like nothing you can do. Here, here. There's not a single chance for white to do anything to you. And that's why shape's important. Shape efficiency, anyway. But you didn't die. That's what's important. You didn't die.
Okay.
Yep. Alright, so I think my recommendation is keep playing 1919, gain more experience with the fights and stuff. Your reading sometimes is good, but sometimes a little eh. Work on the opening, I think, opening theories. If you want, I can recommend... Well, you know, you pretty much got the videos I have in my beginner lecture series down from just this from just today's stream, you pretty much got everything from the beginner lecture series. It's open corners, open sides. Learn the 4 Josekis for each thing. Go for the most open side, and then play the biggest area. I think that you can get down with just practice, and now you know it. Life and death, though, I think you have a lot of soft attacks and attack and defense. So try to be a little bit more powerful there. But otherwise, if you can fix that, and then not play the little crazy stuff up there, if you can fix those 2 things, I think you'll be single digit good.
Yeah.
So make your attacks a little bit more powerful, and don't die so easily.
Okay. Yeah, I just wasn't reading in the beginning. You might have, when I started spending time again in my reading, I started actually reading.
Yeah.
That was a bit better.
You gotta read it throughout the whole game.
Yeah, because, that's the whole thing about starting out on 9x9 is reading was basically it for the longest time. And now...
Yeah, your reading's a lot better than other 11 Qs that I've seen. And I think it's because you start off smaller.
That's it,
Probably better than
anyway.
me.
I'll be playing 19x19 and suddenly I'll be down 40 points and I don't know why.
Yeah, that's just the direction to play more than anything.
Yeah. Well, thank you for the game.
Thank you for playing. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you learned something.
Yeah. Have a nice day.
Alright, you too. Bye.